Hello folks, today I wanted to make a very short video to discuss some of the reasons why I've written two books on the subject of tinnitus. Some of you that follow me on my channels will know that I've written two books. One is called Overcoming Tinnitus and the second is called A Musician with Tinnitus. The main reason why, put simply, that I wrote these books was to try, in my own modest way, to offer some form of inspiration and some form of motivation for people to overcome their tinnitus. I've had tinnitus for over 18 years and I have very, very bad tinnitus, and being a professional musician can create a lot of complex situations for me. But I've kept going and I feel like I managed to cope and I managed to overcome my tinnitus even despite it being very, very bad. Now, one of the things that's on my mind a lot, and one of the main reasons that was main things that was on my mind when I was writing the books, was this. When people try and access information about tinnitus, the first thing they do is go online. So you might be new to tinnitus, or you might be going through a spike trying to find out new information. I've done that many times. And the first two pieces of information that you come across are: one, there's no cure. And number two, lots of people really, really struggle with this. So you're already in a vulnerable position. You've got this very bad thing going on in your ears and in your head. You're vulnerable, you're emotional, you go online, and those are the first two pieces of information you find, putting you in a sort of even more vulnerable situation. Then you go past the newspaper articles and you go more in depth and you go onto the forums. And when you go onto the forums, the first two pieces of information that you find there are: one, there's been many attempts over the years to try and fix this problem, and they haven't quite fixed it just yet. They're getting close, but they're not there yet. So that's again reconfirming the negative in your brain. And the second thing is, because of the nature of forums, you come across lots of other people that are really struggling and sharing their struggles, quite rightly so, because that's the nature of a forum. So again, you've got four pieces of information all reconfirming the negative in your brain. So you come away thinking, I'm the only person I know that's got tinnitus in my sort of vicinity. None of my family and friends have got it. I feel lonely because of that. I go online and I find all this negative information. I'm in a really, really bad situation. 18 years ago when I got tinnitus, there was hardly any optimistic information. And 6 years ago when my tinnitus became really, really bad, there was hardly any optimistic information online. And it puts you in a very vulnerable situation. Literally recently, over the last 12 to 24 months, not even 12 to 18 months, there have been some people coming online on YouTube, podcasts, sharing optimistic stories, which is beautiful. And I wanted to, in my own small, modest way, be part of that conversation, saying, yes, tinnitus is very, very difficult. My books, no one's books, or anyone's philosophy is going to take your tinnitus away. It's difficult, but there are ways to make tinnitus less impactful on your life, less distressful, less emotional in your life. There are ways to do it. And the first thing that you've got to do is get your frame of mind in the right place. That's why the information that we have access to is so absolutely fundamental. If you're constantly reconfirming the negative, you can't get your brain in the right place. And if you can't get your brain in the right place, all the tools that follow from that won't come. So that's why I wrote these books. First and foremost, to offer an optimistic story to people, saying, I have really, really bad tinnitus. I'm still here, I'm still playing, I'm still recording, I'm still writing, and I'm still living a fairly normal life, even though it's bad. And that's because I've got my frame of mind in the right place. And from that come the other tools: exercise, sleep patterns, food sort of cycles, reducing stress, all these tools that come from the first tool, which is your state of mind. That's why it's so important to try and avoid reconfirming the negative and put more optimism and sort of strength into your brain. That was the fundamental reason behind the books, to add my own modest, small voice saying it can be done. It absolutely can be done. Read these books, follow these people, watch these YouTube channels or whatever, but put optimistic information in your brain rather than negative information. We know that tinnitus can't be cured in 2022. We know they're getting close. We know they keep getting closer and closer and closer. But right now it can't be cured. We know that it's very hard. We know that. We all know that. We know that we have anxiety, etc. We already know that. Let's not reconfirm that negative. Let's start reconfirming the positive. It can be overcome. It can be coped with. It can be managed. You can do these things to make yourself feel better. That was, in a nutshell, the inspiration behind the books. And it's been truly soul-touching to have feedback from people all over the world saying that the books and the videos have been helping them. It's beautiful. That's why I do it. It makes me feel good about my own sort of profound struggles. But maybe my struggles have had some sort of meaning if I can share a very small optimistic story with others. So that's the reason behind the books. That's the reason behind all the videos that I share. It's to say you can be overcome. You've got to get your mind in the right place. And by doing that, reconfirm the optimistic and don't reconfirm the negative. All right? Wish you all a beautiful weekend, and thank you for watching, and thank you as always for being part of my channels, and thank you to anyone that's bought my books. I really genuinely hope that they have added an optimistic voice to your journey. Thanks for watching.